The Solitude Seekers, a reflection on those who love loneliness and the cost of dishonest company. Loneliness is often perceived as a state of emptiness, a void that needs to be filled with the presence of others. Yet, for some, solitude is not a burden but a sanctuary, a space where they find peace, clarity, and authenticity. These individuals, who cherish their alone time, are often misunderstood by a society that equates companionship with happiness and solitude with sadness. However, those who love loneliness are not merely introverts or recluses. They are often people who have paid a heavy price for being in the company of fake and dishonest individuals. Their preference for solitude is not a rejection of connection but a conscious choice to preserve their inner peace and integrity. The weight of dishonest company. Human beings are inherently social creatures, wired to seek connection and belonging. However, not all connections are nurturing or genuine. For some, the experience of being surrounded by fake and dishonest people can be profoundly damaging. Dishonest company is like a toxin, it seeps into one's psyche, eroding trust, self-esteem, and emotional well-being. Those who have endured such relationships often describe them as emotionally exhausting, leaving them feeling drained, manipulated, and disillusioned. Fake people are masters of pretense. They wear masks of kindness and concern, but their intentions are often self-serving. They may flatter to gain favor, gossip to manipulate, or feign empathy to exploit. For those who value authenticity, such interactions can feel like a betrayal of the self. The constant need to navigate hidden agendas and decipher ulterior motives can be mentally taxing, leading to a sense of alienation even in the midst of a crowd. A dishonest company also undermines one's sense of self-worth. When surrounded by people who do not value honesty or integrity, individuals may begin to question their own values. They may feel pressured to conform to behaviors that conflict with their principles, leading to inner conflict and guilt. Over time, this can erode their confidence and sense of identity, leaving them feeling lost and disconnected. The sanctuary of solitude. For those who have been scarred by dishonest company, solitude becomes a refuge. It is a space where they can shed the masks they were forced to wear and reconnect with their true selves. In solitude, there are no pretenses, no hidden agendas, and no need to conform to the expectations of others. It is a place of honesty and authenticity, where one can breathe freely and think clearly. Loneliness, in this context, is not a state of lack but a state of liberation. It is a choice to prioritize one's mental and emotional well-being over the superficial comfort of social validation. Those who love loneliness understand that being alone is far preferable to being in the company of people who do not respect or value them. They have learned the hard way that not all connections are worth maintaining, and that it is better to be alone than to be surrounded by toxicity. Solitude also offers an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. Away from the noise and distractions of social interactions, individuals can reflect on their experiences, process their emotions, and gain clarity about their values and goals. It is in solitude that they can heal from the wounds inflicted by the dishonest company and rebuild their sense of self. For these individuals, loneliness is not a punishment but a gift, a chance to reclaim their autonomy and rediscover their inner strength. The misunderstanding of solitude seekers. Despite the profound benefits of solitude, those who prefer it are often misunderstood. Society tends to view loneliness as a problem to be solved, rather than a choice to be respected. Solitude seekers are frequently labeled as antisocial, aloof, or even selfish. They may be pressured to come out of their shell, or be more social, as if their preference for alone time is a flaw that needs to be corrected. This misunderstanding stems from a cultural bias that equates social activity with happiness and success. In a world that celebrates extroversion and constant connectivity, the idea of choosing solitude can seem counterintuitive. However, for those who have been burned by dishonest companies, solitude is not a rejection of connection but a redefinition of it. It is a way of setting boundaries and protecting one's emotional well-being. The nuances of authentic connections. While the preference for solitude is often a response to negative experiences, it is important to recognize that not all connections are detrimental. Authentic relationships, characterized by mutual respect, honesty, and empathy, can be profoundly enriching. These connections provide a sense of belonging and support that enhances one's well-being and fosters personal growth. Cultivating genuine relationships requires effort and intentionality. It involves being vulnerable, communicating openly, and showing up consistently for the people in our lives. Authentic connections are built on a foundation of trust and reciprocity, where both parties feel valued and understood. They are not without challenges, but the willingness to navigate conflicts and misunderstandings with honesty and respect strengthens the bond. Healthy connections also allow for individuality and independence. They do not demand conformity or suppress one's true self. Instead, they celebrate differences and encourage personal growth. In such relationships, solitude is not seen as a threat but as a natural and necessary part of life. Both individuals can enjoy their alone time without fear of judgment or rejection, knowing that their connection is strong enough to withstand periods of separation. To illustrate the profound impact of solitude and the pain of dishonest company, let us consider the story of Sarah, a woman in her early 30s who once thrived in a bustling social circle. Sarah was the life of the party, always surrounded by friends and acquaintances. However, over time, she began to notice the superficiality of these relationships. Her so-called friends would gossip behind each other's backs, flatter her to her face, and then criticize her in private. Sarah felt increasingly isolated, despite being constantly surrounded by people. One day, after a particularly draining social event, Sarah decided to take a step back. She began to spend more time alone, reading, journaling, and reflecting on her life. At first, the solitude felt uncomfortable, even scary. But as the days turned into weeks, Sarah discovered a newfound sense of peace and clarity. She realized that she had been sacrificing her authenticity to fit in with a group that did not truly value her. Solitude became her sanctuary, a place where she could reconnect with her true self and heal from the emotional wounds inflicted by a dishonest company. Sarah's story is not unique. Many people have experienced the pain of fake relationships and found solace in solitude. Take, for example, John, a man in his late 40s who spent years trying to please his colleagues and superiors at work. He would go out of his way to be friendly and accommodating, only to realize that his efforts were not reciprocated. His colleagues would take credit for his work, spread rumors about him, and exclude him from important meetings. John felt betrayed and undervalued, but he continued to put on a brave face, fearing that speaking up would make him seem difficult or uncooperative. Eventually, John reached a breaking point. He decided to leave his toxic work environment and take some time off to reassess his life. During this period of solitude, John rediscovered his passion for painting, something he had neglected for years. He also began to set boundaries in his personal relationships, prioritizing quality over quantity. John learned that it was better to be alone than to be in the company of people who did not respect or value him. His solitude became a source of strength and creativity, allowing him to rebuild his life on his own terms. The wisdom of choosing loneliness. Those who love loneliness are not naive or idealistic, they are often deeply pragmatic. They have learned through painful experience that not all relationships are worth the effort, and that some connections can do more harm than good. Their preference for solitude is not a sign of weakness but a testament to their resilience and self-awareness. In choosing loneliness, they also make a statement about the kind of relationships they value. They are not opposed to connection, but they seek connections that are genuine, honest, and mutually respectful. Until they find such relationships, they are content to be alone, knowing that solitude is far preferable to the emptiness of fake and dishonest company. Conclusion: the people who love loneliness are not running away from the world, they are running toward themselves. They have paid a heavy price for being in the company of fake and dishonest individuals, and their preference for solitude is a hard-earned wisdom. In a world that often prioritizes quantity over quality in relationships, they remind us of the importance of authenticity and self-respect. Their choice to embrace loneliness is not a rejection of connection but an affirmation of their own worth. It is a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most profound connections we can make are with ourselves. By broadening our perspective to include the nuances of authentic connections, we can better appreciate the value of solitude when genuine companionship is lacking. Solitude seekers teach us that it is better to be alone than to be in the company of those who do not respect or value us. They inspire us to seek and cultivate relationships that are rooted in honesty, empathy, and mutual respect, and to cherish the moments of solitude that allow us to reconnect with our true selves.
Please tell me what you think and how you feel about this issue. Analyze it, brainstorm it, debate it, and if you like it, please share it. Thank you for watching. I truly and highly appreciate you, and God bless you.